A man travels at the back of a truck. His name is Yossi Ginsberg, a young Israeli adventurer. He is so happy with his life, he arrives in Bolivia, eager to explore the Amazon rainforest. His travels have brought him to La Paz, a vibrant city nestled high in the mountains. He boards on a little boat, and as they begin to sail, a young man runs to meet up with them. Yossi then notifies the sailor, and then they turned back for him. He joins them, and they exchange pleasantries. His name is Marcus. They become friends, and later that day, Yossi gets to meet Marcus's friend Kevin Gale, an American hiker and avid photographer who has been documenting his journey through South America. The three men have bonded over their shared love of adventure, often spending their days exploring the streets of La Paz and discussing their future travel plans. Yossi also meets a beautiful lady, and he hangs out with her also. She gives him something to drink, and as they drink it, they start to hallucinate. One afternoon, Yossi wanders into a busy outdoor market. As he moves through the crowd, a stranger approaches him, striking up a conversation. His name is Carl. He appears confident and well-traveled. Carl quickly steers the conversation toward an enticing topic. He claims to know of an undiscovered indigenous tribe deep in the jungle. He speaks of a hidden world untouched by modern civilization, a place where native people live in complete isolation from the outside world. He claims to have knowledge of the area and connections to the tribe. His words are compelling, and Yossi is immediately intrigued. With his curiosity, Yossi rushes back to the hostel to share the news with Marcus and Kevin. He tells them about Carl and his claims, explaining that this could be the adventure of a lifetime. However, both Marcus and Kevin are immediately skeptical. They question Carl's credibility, wondering if he is exaggerating or even lying. Despite their reservations, Yossi continues to push the idea. He argues that this is a rare opportunity, one that may never come again, describing the excitement of seeing a lost world firsthand. After much debate, they finally agree to join him. The next day, the three friends meet Carl at a small supply shop. The store is filled with survival gear, food rations, and various tools for jungle exploration. Carl moves through the aisles, gathering equipment for the trip. With their bags packed, the four men set off into the jungle. They fly over the mountains in a plane. The first few days of the journey are exhilarating. They hike through dense vegetation, the towering trees forming a green canopy above them. The air is thick with humidity, the sounds of insects and distant bird calls filling the jungle. Carl leads the way, confidently navigating through the wilderness. His knowledge of the jungle appears genuine. He identifies edible plants, warns them about dangerous insects, and shares survival tips. After days of trekking, they arrive at a small village called Asriamus. The village consists of simple wooden huts, with indigenous villagers going about their daily routines. As they approach, the villagers recognize Carl, greeting him warmly. This reassures Yossi, Marcus, and Kevin, making them believe that Carl's claims about knowing the jungle might be true after all. They spend the night in the village, resting and recovering from their journey. The next morning, they bid farewell to the villagers and continue deeper into the jungle. They sight a monkey and Carl shoots it. It falls to the ground but still alive, and Carl rushes towards it and starts hitting it, but Marcus yells at him to just shoot it dead. Carl continues till it's dead and said to Marcus, "In the jungle, never waste a bullet." They later roast it and eat, although Marcus refuses to join. As the days pass, Marcus begins to experience severe discomfort. His feet are covered in blisters, the constant friction against his wet boots turning them into open wounds. Walking becomes agonizing for Marcus. He tries to push through, but the pain slows him down significantly. He begins to complain. As Marcus's condition worsens, Yossi, Kevin, and Carl gather to discuss their options. Carl suggests that he leave the group temporarily to go find help. Just as they are debating their next move, Marcus joins the conversation. Kevin proposes a new plan, building a raft to travel downriver instead of continuing on foot. This way, they can all stay together and move more efficiently. The group decides to move forward with it. They gather logs and vines, working together to construct a makeshift raft. After hours of effort, their raft is complete. They push it into the water and cautiously climb aboard. At first, the journey is peaceful. The river carries them forward, but soon they encounter their first challenge, rapids. The water becomes turbulent, the raft bouncing violently as it is tossed around by the rushing current. Kevin, the most experienced outdoorsman in the group, instinctively takes control. He shouts directions, guiding the raft through the dangerous waters. Carl, however, does not handle the situation well. He appears visibly shaken. As they reach calmer waters, Carl demands that they stop. He maneuvers the raft to shore, claiming that he needs to go hunting. The others watch as he disappears into the jungle. Kevin, observing Carl's behavior, begins piecing things together. He recalls Carl's discomfort around water, his reluctance to continue the journey downriver. Then it clicks. Carl is afraid of water. More than that, Kevin realizes that Carl likely does not know how to swim. He shares his suspicions with Yossi, and they both begin to question Carl's true experience as a jungle guide. Meanwhile, Carl and Marcus make a decision. They are done with the journey. Instead of continuing downriver, they decide to return to civilization on foot. They estimate that it will take them 3 days to reach safety. Without saying much, they turn back, leaving Yossi and Kevin behind. Now alone, Yossi and Kevin continue their journey downriver. But the peace does not last. As they approach another set of rapids, the water grows more violent. This time, the current proves too strong. The raft is ripped apart and they are stuck on the raft. Kevin manages to get to the bank of the river and he twirls Yossi to throw him a cutlass so he can cut a branch to help him, but Yossi is thrown into the river. Kevin watches helplessly as Yossi is swept away, disappearing into the chaos of the rushing water. Yossi is flung into the raging current. The powerful current slams him against rocks. Finally, the current releases its grip and he is able to surface. Coughing and gasping, Yossi finds himself in calmer waters. The river has carried him far from where he started, depositing him in a quieter, more isolated stretch of the jungle. He knows that staying in one place is not an option. He needs to find food, water, and shelter if he has any hope of surviving. He stumbles forward, pushing his way through the dense undergrowth. He listens carefully, hoping to hear something that might lead him to civilization, but there is nothing. Night falls quickly in the jungle, and with it comes a new wave of fear. When morning finally arrives, he forces himself to stand. He sees something moving in the water. It's his bag. He rushes to it and retrieves it. He then continues to move. He is starving now. He sees a bird best with blue eggs, and he rushes to take one. He cracks it, but finds a little chick still developing, and he eats it. He moves, but his feet is hurting. He stops to take off his shoes and socks, and his feet is all covered in blisters. He struggles to get up, and later that day he finds a footprint on the ground, and he gets excited, but he then sees the same eggshell that he had eaten earlier, and he discovers that it was just him circling round the jungle. He is frustrated now, and he shouts in pains. Meanwhile, Kevin has made it to safety. He is rescued by locals who take him to a small town miles away from where Yossi is lost. Though he is safe, his thoughts are consumed by his missing friend. He refuses to believe that Yossi is dead. Determined to find him, Kevin enlists the help of local authorities. They organize a search, flying over the jungle in a small plane in the hopes of spotting Yossi from above. Yossi sees the plan and shouts for help, but the dense canopy makes it nearly impossible to see anything. Days go by with no sign of Yossi. The authorities begin to lose hope, but Kevin refuses to give up. He knows that if there is even a chance that Yossi is still alive, he has to keep searching. Meanwhile, Kevin refuses to give up on his friend. He meets a boat pilot, a man who knows the river and the surrounding jungle well. Kevin explains the situation, desperate to find someone willing to take him back into the wild. The boat pilot agrees to help. They set off, navigating the winding river in search of any sign of Yossi. Back in the jungle, Yossi is on the verge of collapse. He hears a sound and follows it. He finds an Indian native. She was crying. He tries to communicate, but she doesn't understand, but they move together and take shelter together. He later realizes that he was only hallucinating. He keeps moving and suddenly gets stuck in mud. He waits there, but no help is coming. He then starts to pull himself out with a branch he grabbed. As he escapes the mud, he approaches a tree, knowing that the tree is filling with red ants. He takes off his clothes and shakes the tree, allowing a lot of ants on his body as they bit him. He struggles to walk towards the river. His body is covered in insect bites, his skin scratched, and he falls to the ground. He has nothing left. The next morning, Kevin is on the boat with the boat pilot. As they move deeper into the jungle, Kevin scans the shoreline, but they see nothing, and they turn back all sad and almost losing hope. Yossi then awakens and sees them leaving. With the last of his energy, he stumbles to the shore, waving his arms, shouting with everything he has left. His voice is weak, but he does not stop. On the river, Kevin scans the jungle one last time, and then something catches his eye, movement on the shore. It is Yossi. Without hesitation, Kevin directs the boat toward him. As they approach, he sees the state his friend is in, thin, weak, barely able to stand, but he is alive. He catches him as his friend collapses into his arms, overcome with relief. They made it. Yossi is taken to Rurrenabaque, where he receives medical attention. His body is battered, his spirit nearly broken, but he is alive. In the days that follow, he learns the truth. Carl had lied. There was no hidden tribe, no grand adventure waiting in the jungle. Carl was just a con man.
If you enjoyed this video, please do well to like, subscribe, and comment on what movies you want us to review for you. Also, turn on the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. Thanks, and see you in the next video.